As we continue with our coverage, it's Democratic strategist A. Scott Bolden, who joins from Washington right now, a city you know and love, Scott, so I'm sure whether you want to comment on the president's 500 troops or not, I'd also just like you to start off by commenting on your general thoughts tonight about the city of Washington after this happened just so close to the White House.
Yeah, very briefly, this is a really busy area near the White House. K Street is not far away. Many of my colleagues at Reed Smith take that subway back and forth home. It's really busy. So when I hear that it's a targeted shooting, then as a former homicide prosecutor from New York, this seems like an individual who may have thought he could get away by blending in the crowd, or he wanted to get caught to make some type of statement. Don't know how difficult or how severe the injuries are for the bad actor or the guardsman, but it's just a tragic event because these young kids and I call them kids, I've seen them, I've walked by several National Guard. These are young kids, and they're very polite, they're very helpful. Most of them aren't doing law enforcement, at least best as I can see. I've never had a problem with crime in 34 years of living in the District of Columbia, but it can be a dangerous place. But every other major urban center can be, whether it's the haves versus the have-nots, whether the least, the lost, the left out. 500 new troops isn't going to stop this crime, these types of crimes. 500 new troops arguably is just more targets if this was a targeted event here. And so more troops isn't going to solve it. Crime prevention programs, and I've said this to you before, crime prevention programs, programs for jobs, job training, entrepreneurship training, giving young people and those who are older opportunities to make a decent living, to get a decent education. We know that works in partnership with businesses and churches. And so you can add 500 if you want. That's not going to stop crime. This isn't a crime-free zone because you have police presence. You have police presence to keep crime down, but there's still crime going on in parts of the city.
Yeah, the president's been talking about, that since he asked for the Guard to be deployed, that's when we've seen the numbers come down. We talked about it yesterday. He had said that, there'd been no murders in 6 months, which wasn't true. I mean, there'd been far more, I think it was 60-something murders in that time frame. So there was, the numbers weren't accurate, but he makes the point that the deployment of the National Guard has been beneficial to the city. But you don't think so?
I think it's been beneficial from just a present standpoint, sure. Right. But think about this statistic, right? There are more police officers per square block in the District of Columbia and per capita than any other major urban center in the country, right? So now if you got 32 agencies who all have arrest powers, who all go to court, who all write tickets, who all can arrest bad actors, whether they see them or it's reported that they investigate, right? The issue, we got more people in jail, locked up in D.C. I think I saw the statistic per capita than any other major urban center. More police presence isn't solving the problem. You have to look at crime prevention and crime, solving crime issues from a holistic standpoint. That's not some liberal left-leaning thought on my process. It's because statistically, we know that's what works. And it starts with police presence and community policing. But adding 500 new troops who aren't trained in law enforcement in urban centers, I'll be honest with you, may make you feel good and make us feel safer, but that's not going to bring down crime. Not necessarily.
The timing of this is the day before Thanksgiving. We, of course, here in New York have the Thanksgiving parade tomorrow. So they were just having, I think they're still going on, a news conference to talk about security surrounding the parade with, Mayor Adams and the police commissioners there, Jessica Tisch as well, who's addressed the shooting in D.C., just talking about what we've already said. That's Tisch speaking now. It was a targeted shooting, and they're going to coordinate with law enforcement because they're monitoring the situation. So they're talking to their partners in D.C. is what she just said. At this time, there appears to be no nexus to New York City, is what Jessica Tisch just said. But, this is, meantime, the president's in Florida, Scott. He's already moved on from this. We are not going to hear from him tonight. He was just putting stuff out on social media about his approval rating. He claims it's at 50%, and then a long post that's related to Venezuela, hoping that the elections in Honduras don't, are not beneficial to Maduro in Venezuela. So he's already, that's what he's talking about tonight.
Yeah, the whole initiative of fighting crime in blue cities was untethered to the facts, like so many of the other president's initiatives. It just was. I mean, you can talk about statistics, and then you can talk about how you make people feel safe. Adding more police officers or adding National Guard sounds good and is bravado and what have you, but it has a limited impact in regard to crime prevention. $100 million that was cut out of the big, beautiful bill would really help these major urban centers and rural America as well, so that people who are committing these crimes. Now, we don't know why this targeted shooting took place, if it is that. I can tell you we're a long way from solving this issue, or a long way from understanding the motive, because it's the motive that scares you. You like that you could have this random shooting, and if there's no prior relationship, most murders in this country, if there's no prior relationship, you have an 80 to 90% chance of getting away with it. There's always a prior relationship. And so having no motive, no prior relationship with these National Guardsmen who are there doing public service, that's really what scares you and worries you while you're talking about it in New York, and why you and I are talking about it.
That's right.
Because it is counter to our intuition and our human condition, being able to take someone's life, whether it's for political purposes or because you're angry. But I tell you what, a lot of this that goes on, these mass shootings, is more about mental illness than anything.
Right.
And we just don't put enough money locally, statewide, or federally into mental health. We talk about it when we have these mass shootings, and this is a mass shooting, 3 or more, but we don't do it. You see, we don't implement it because it's not sexy, and it's not going to get headlines for it.
All right, A. Scott Bolden, live from D.C. as always. Thank you, Scott. We always appreciate it. We'll be right back.